A Tom Farrell hat-trick helps Munster edge Ulster. My name's Mark. Let's talk rugby. That game was so close that I had both jerseys on standby because I didn't know which one I was going to be wearing right until the very last second of that one. First half was, complete night and day, honestly. First half, not brilliant. The second half then completely livened up. Both teams, sparking into life and much more exciting. But we'll go over the first half first. So Munster trying to hold Ulster up in the tackle to win a turnover. You can see it's a deliberate tactic from them, especially trying to target the likes of McCluskey and Postlethwaite, who both kind of carry, very upright and look to get, the ball up and over for offloads. And it works the first time. They managed to create a maul and turn it over. But then the second time, tackle is called. They get pinged for not rolling away. I think it was a Hearn who was pinged for that. Ulster from the penalty kick to the corner. Munster do manage to hold them out with some desperate defence on the try line, but they give away penalties. A no-arms tackle from John Ryan, and then Farrell caught offside as well. Ulster continued to pen away that line before O'Toole forces a way over for the opening score. Cooney converts in 7-0 to Ulster. Crowley then misses touch with a kick. Werner Koch doing really well to keep it in, but Ulster let him off the hook as they're offside from a kick up in the air. Crowley then sends it into the corner at the second attempt for Munster. Ping for offside in the line out. So frustrating. That one we've seen from Ireland and from all the Irish provinces so many times. Ball goes up in the air. The guy catches it, and then the lifter goes in behind, basically blocking any chance for the opposition to actually get to the initial ball carrier. And every one of the Irish provinces get pinged for it so many times. It's so annoying. But then from here, errors from both sides. Munster fumble a line out before McCluskey then knocks on the loose ball. Crowley then pinged for escorting on Koch on an up and under. Ulster go up the line into the 22 from that. Lowry gets them within 5 metres. They go through a number of phases before Munster holding fast and Ulster ping for a crock roll. And Munster's defence really was, point of difference between the two teams. In this one, Munster very solid in defence, aggressive as well. Ulster a little bit leaky, and they've been leaky the last little while as well in the European games too. We then have a lengthy stoppage for treatment to Zach Ward, who he kind of fell awkwardly in a tackle. One of those is where he got his leg kind of caught beneath him as he was falling. He carries on, but has to go off like a few minutes later after that. So we wished him, a speed recovery as well as the other players. There was a few players that was injured in this game. McNabney then off feet and Munster go up the line. They work it into 22 before O'Donoghue knocks on in contact. Ulster then kick clear, but it stays in and Munster come back. Crowley finds Haley on the edge of the 22 onto Daly, who flicks it onto Farrell, and then he stays really strong to go over the score. He had two Ulster players, I think it was McCluskey and maybe Koch, hanging off him as he went over to score. So really well done from him. Crowley missed the conversion, 7-5, so Ulster still just about in the lead. Then try scorer O'Toole gets a red card for a dangerous clear out on Nankivell. It's one of those ones, I think, if you're an Ulster fan, initial reaction is it's never a red card. But if you're a Munster fan, it's a red card all day long. But I think in a cold light of day, most fans of either team and neutrals as well would say it was clumsy, but it probably did deserve a red card. Ulster then lose Stuart McCluskey to injury just before the break. And Munster, I think, lost Nankivell as well after that. Halftime then is 7-5. Munster into second half, they attack off a line out. They get Haley into space on the right before moving it back inside. Nash knocks on in contact, and Ulster thumped the ball downfield. Crowley did really well, to gather the ball and just glides his way away from danger. There were a number of Ulster players hunting him down, but he just about avoided a few tackles to get out. There's one of those ones where, it looks brilliant what he did, but if he got caught with the ball, people would be going crazy about, why didn't he kick it away or whatever. Then Haley and Daly, they let a ball just bounce between them about 5 meters out from their own line. Really stupid, but they get away with it. And Coughlin, who was on for Patterson, who was off for an HIA check at that stage, hacks it clear. Patterson, when he did come back from the HIA, didn't stay on that long, and he was replaced by Coughlin again. Ulster then with plenty of the ball, but they're struggling to find space against this aggressive Munster defence. Munster then strike with a really well worked try. Haley collects a kick, makes ground in the counter. Nash then carries well. Crowley with a nice chip crossfield to Farrell. He finds Haley inside and then collects the offload from Haley, and he's in behind to score. Just, all around really good from Munster there. Crowley's, though, his URC kicking woes continue as he missed the conversion as 10 points to 7, and Munster just in the lead now. Ulster then worked the ball to within a couple of meters, pounding away at that try line. Scott Wilson gets held up over the line. He was fantastic, by the way, when he come on. Munster offside, back for the penalty. Ulster kick it to the corner. Munster hold him out, but there's an offside and a side entry, so they get a warning from the referee about the number of penalties they're giving away. Ulster go back into that corner. Munster hold them all out, but Ben Whitehouse telling Andrew at the back of the maul he has to use it, which is normal. But then he runs in and starts tapping him on the back, the way you'd normally see like his own scrum half doing, to kind of remind him, you got to use the ball, you got to go. He does go, and there's I think there's a recycle. Then we have a TMO check. They ask try yes or no because they're not sure for an on-field decision. Looks like it's held up by Gavin Coombs and Munster, and then a goal line dropout. So really good defence there from Munster. And as you were saying in commentary as well, really good effort to make sure that they blocked any kind of camera angle that might have seen a grounding of the ball as well. Ulster then work it back into the 22, piling under pressure, and Rory Scannell goes to the bin for a tackle off the ball. It was one of these ones where he took the player just before the ball arrived. Ulster then goes to the corner. They go to one out carries and pick and goes, but McCann loses it in contact, and it was, I think, Kendallin actually kind of stripped the ball there. Munster then give away another penalty. Ulster back into the corner, and you're feeling like something has to give at this stage because it's just wave after wave of Ulster attack, and Munster doing well in defence, but they are giving away penalties. And yes, just feels like something is going to give at this stage. Ulster, the maul sucks in that Munster defence, and Munster for once caught short. Ulster move it. They are stopped short, first of all, but then there's no one there to stop Sheridan getting over to score. And, I thought both Sheridan for Ulster and Ahern for Munster were showing, that despite what, looking at the Ireland squads of recent times might suggest, that there are actually some really good locks running around in at the provinces who definitely could have got a chance there in November as well. So both of them having really good games. And hopefully we'll see them, maybe involve training squads for Six Nations, and certainly we're going to see them, I think, during the summer tour with the most. Well, we don't know yet, but we're probably thinking, a lot of the first team will be away with the Lions unless they, absolutely collapse in the Six Nations, which I hope absolutely doesn't happen. But back to this one. So Cooney then misses the conversion. Not great kicking from the tee from either team in this one. It's not just Crowley struggling. Like Cooney hasn't been brilliant either this season, but it's 12 points to 10. Ulster back in front. Then Gleeson gets Nash through a gap after some really good work from Munster. He then finds Haley, who puts Daly away on the left to score, and Daly did really well just to kind of keep Cooney guessing by ball in both hands, looking inside at for a possible offload, and Cooney had to kind of try and cover both men and wasn't able to cover either. In the end, they go over to score. Poor conversion attempt from Crowley again, 15 points to 12. Munster retake the lead. Wilson then comes crashing through the line from outside the Munster 22, barreling his way towards the line, stopped about 2 meters short of that line. They don't get over, but Coughlin was offside. Munster get another team warning for a possible yellow card. Like, they're just giving away far too many penalties. Ulster tapped the penalty, stopped short, and then they knock it on in their haste to try and gather and go again. Chance missed there from them. Ulster then, another penalty, goes to the corner from that. Munster steal it, and Farrell breaks from his own line. Doesn't have the pace to kind of get away. Could have maybe put a kick in or something, but he decided he's going to go for the offload. But Werner Koch did really well to get back and in that passing channel to collect that offload. Ulster then, a little while later, get over the ball, win a penalty just inside the Munster half. Scott Wilson then with another big carry as he goes close. Ulster recycle a few times before McNabney gets over to score. Cooney converts 19 points to 15, and there's only a few minutes left, and now Munster need a try of their own. Munster then come looking for that try. They're finding plenty of space. Ulster on the back foot, not resetting quickly enough in defence, and it's just kind of a snowball effect, really. Nash then put through a gap by, I think it was it Crowley? Or, yeah, I think it was him. Or was it? Yeah, I think Gleeson was involved in there somewhere as well. I think in the build-up, but then off the deck to Ahern, pops it to Farrell, and he's over for his hat-trick and the bonus point try. Crowley runs down the shot clock then, to make sure that that we're over the 80 before slotting the conversion. 22 points to 19 is the final score. And yeah, it was really close. And again, like, I've got I like both of these jerseys actually. But yeah, I've got my Ulster one here and my Munster one too. And it was the Munster one that won out in the end. So let's have a look at the stats from this one. Let me just pull them up here. So first of all, tries scored. 3 tries for Ulster, 4 for Ulster. That Farrell one right at the death was the bonus point try as well. Possession, look at that. 70% for Ulster and 30% for Munster. They just had all of the ball, but Munster's so good in defence, and you can see that by clean breaks. 1 clean break for Ulster, 7 for Munster. Like, having only had 30% of the possession, to have 7-1 in clean breaks tells you something. And then you can see again the scramble from Munster was really good, because defenders beaten 24 for Ulster, 25 for Munster. So even though players were getting beaten, they weren't letting Ulster actually break the line. Offload sent 7 for Ulster, 5 for Munster. Onto defence then, Ulster didn't have a lot of the ball. They had a lot of the ball in the Munster half. And we see that 76% territory to 24 for Munster. Like, there can't have been that many teams who've had, only 30% possession and 24% territory and still won the game. Like, it's just crazy. And you look at the number of tackles, 80 for Ulster, 267 for Munster. So more than triple what Ulster, had to put in. And then missed tackles, also with more missed tackles, 25 from them and only 24 for Munster. So 71% tackle success for Ulster, 87 for Munster. That doesn't seem right, because 24 is less than 10% of 267. So maybe those numbers are a little bit off, but I'm going to refresh here just in case we get updated numbers. Okay, so it's saying 25. So the new numbers: 92 total tackles for Ulster, 25 missed. 291 for Munster, 27 missed. So 71% tackle success for Ulster and 86 for Munster. But again, 27 is less than 10% of 291, so they should be in the 90s according to that. So I'm not sure where those numbers are coming from. But turnovers 1, then 7 for Ulster. That's one place where I think they had the edge. Just 2 for Munster. Ulster at the breakdown looking pretty good, but they couldn't really work any of that into kind of breaks. Then kicks retained, 1 for Ulster, 2 for Munster. Kicking success, it's always 0-0. Why did they have it? Penalties conceded, Ulster far better discipline, 7 for them, 15 for Munster. And if you're an Ulster fan, you probably think they definitely should have got another yellow card as well for the number of penalties they were giving away in that second half. Probably very lucky not to do so. And then on to individuals. We got 3 tries from Tom Farrell, like hat-trick, brilliant from him. Successful carries then. Dave McCann, 16 for Ulster to 8 from Farrell, the best of the Munster players. Clean breaks, though. 1 for Scott Wilson. I don't know how did he only get 1? Because I definitely remember at least 2 that he did. So I'm not sure that's correct. I thought he was 2 or 3, but Tom Farrell with 4. And defenders beaten then Scott Wilson with 6 to Tom Farrell's 7. So Scott Wilson, he come off the bench and he beat more defenders than the rest of his team, or more than anyone else on his team. Meters made then, Michael Lowry, 65 for Ulster. I thought he was decent in the first half, but the Ulster backs weren't really all that involved in the second half, honestly. Tom Farrell then with 151 for Munster. Then offloads, Jude Postlethwaite, another great game from him. 3 offloads, 2 from Calvin Nash. It's a pity that McCluskey got injured, because that combination between himself and Postlethwaite really is one of the big positives coming out for Ulster at the moment. They're going through a dark patch, but that's a bit of a shining light for them. So hopefully he's not out for too long. On the defence then, Alan O'Connor with 10 tackles. Gavin Coombs with a massive 35 tackles in the game. That's just crazy. Just immense number of tackles. Rob Herring then with 2 turnovers to John Hodnett's 1 for Munster. So let's just quickly talk about each of the teams. So Ulster thought they responded well, to the red card, going down to 14. Had lots of the ball and territory, but struggled to break down that Munster defence, at crucial times. Wilson, really gave them go forward when he came on. Looked like, they'd won it as well, but then that leaky defence just let them down again. And, you feel like there's definitely a lot of kind of green shoots for Ulster, but it's getting to the point now where they need to start, producing results as well. It's not just, you can't just keep having some positive performances. And even in Europe, like they had some positives in their performance, but fell away in the second half. Didn't do so much of that in this one, although they did obviously lose it in that second half as well. But they look like they were certainly stronger compared to those 2 losses against Toulouse and Bordeaux. Munster then, have struggled against teams that have gotten red cards recently, and even Stade Francais, when they got 2 red cards, Munster didn't look all that great against them. Looked like, that inability to kind of make their numbers count was going to cost them here in this one. But they looked certainly the better team on attack, took the majority of the chances that they made, and didn't panic at the end there, and were able to snatch that win. I think Munster probably of last season probably wouldn't have won this game. I think that there would have been some kind of mistake in there as they went for that winning try. So you can see that Munster they're still not, they're kind of in between at the moment. I think that they produce good performances, but they still haven't found that kind of vein of form. They won against Stade Francais, and then they had that defeat then away to, was it, I think it was Castor, right, that beat them. Yeah, Castor beat them like 16-14 or something, where Munster definitely could have won that game, but couldn't. And then this one, then Ulster probably felt like they had the game won, and then Munster were able to snatch it from them. So a decent, positive result for them, especially now going in. I think they're playing Leinster next, and then Ulster are away Connacht. So two big games for these two teams from here on as well. But yeah, first half very forgettable. Second half really exciting, and hopefully that's going to be the same for the season for both of these teams. Because I think for both these teams, first half of the season has been so far pretty forgettable, but hopefully they're both in for exciting second halves of their seasons. But let me know what you think down in the comments.